that's true. Naked Palpatine.
Oh, you pick that one. Fresh out of the clone tank, nude Palpatine is my
Well, that's the first thing I think of when you say Dark Empire Palpatine.
Hi. Today, I have a short novella to discuss with you. And in case anybody, I don't think anybody plays this game because no one cares enough about my channel, but in case anyone was wondering, because I do record my videos massively ahead of time, this is being recorded in December of 2025. And the reason I say this is because literally, I was watching Fantasy Network on YouTube. He had a live stream going, and he mentioned these two novellas. And honestly, I was kind of intrigued, and they're rather short, so I picked them up like right after the stream. And so it's thanks to Fantasy Network that I'm even talking about this. But so in case you're wondering, we are in December of 2025, if you're trying to catch where I'm at chronologically, since I record ahead of time. Today, I am discussing the Lunar Gothic Trilogy, the first book in it, by Nathan Ballingrud. I think I'm saying that right. Crypt of the Moon Spider. Now, because this is short, my non-spoiler is going to be very short, and then we'll get into some spoilers. Basically, just the whole, like, if you want to appreciate this story, then the majority of this video don't watch. But for the non-spoiler, so we are in an alternate history, I'll say, because from what I gathered, it was like 1923. But we have access to the stars, we have shuttles, and most of the story takes place on the moon. And the moon itself has like forests and like lakes and stuff, which, I mean, our moon doesn't have, so it's clearly not ours. And then there's a lot of weird things going on. Basically, this lady, Veronica, her husband doesn't like that she gets depressed, essentially, and sends her to a psych ward to get fixed. But in this world, they have easy ways of going about and fixing mental health. You can just go here and they'll fix it. And I really probably shouldn't say anything more than that. But it keeps going. It's a lot. I wouldn't call it cosmic horror by any means. I don't know if this was a title of it before or if this is just something that's been attributed later, but the Lunar Gothic Trilogy, really, that is an accurate description. I mean, I haven't read every Gothic work. I started reading a little bit of the Gothic work at the beginning of 2026, or at least the upload of it has been in the beginning of 2026, but there is a lot of just classical Gothic sort of feelings throughout. I would also say the atmosphere, maybe this is the wrong word, I don't know, I'm no genius. I'd say it's very oppressive, especially for the first half. I think it's just kind of cool once a certain reveal happens and then the rest of it happens. Specifically, there's a guy named Grub in the story, and then we kind of get his backstory, and then from then on it's just kind of cool to me. But prior to that, it is just very oppressive to me. Like, you know, you have those tropes a lot of like, well, maybe the girl is crazy, you know, she is in this like mental place, but then there's clearly like shady things going on. So it's all this stuff, and it's just uncomfy. I've heard some people say it's very gory. Maybe the second book is. This one was, I don't know, to me, I've watched Walking Dead I mean, I've watched The Thing. I've watched a lot of horror movies, played a lot of horror video games. To me, it was fine. I mean, yeah, there is sometimes maybe a scalp is on a table. And spiders be spidering. Spidering. Listen. If you don't like spiders, you might not have a fun time here. If you don't like seeing scalps open, you might not like this. But I grew up with Saw, and in Saw 3, I saw Jigsaw's scalp on a table, so I think I'll be okay. But yeah, if you don't like spiders, if you don't like the slight amount of gore, you probably won't enjoy this. I think it's very tolerable here if you are somewhat used to horror. But it is very uncomfy throughout, I would say. But as far as short fiction goes, which I don't typically read much short fiction unless it's associated with some other property, like Star Wars, I've read a lot of that, or Halo. I'm sure when I get to Sun Eater and all that other stuff, I'll read the short stories. But in terms of just like original short fiction that has no other connection to anything other than itself, this is probably a first for me. But it was so good. Like, it is good enough to where I want to read this other man's work. Like, whatever else he's written, I want to check it out. It's that good to me. So, I mean, I'm a pretty slow reader, I'm not gonna lie, and I mean, it's short, right? It doesn't take that long. It's not a long story, but still, typically, the amount of pages that are in it would take me, like, I'll be honest, maybe an hour and a half with no interruption. I'm a little slow. Maybe an hour. I'd say an hour and a half if there's interruptions. But I read this in like 40 minutes. So I was really invested. So, that's it for non-spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, then go. Get out of here. Go. You've had your warning. Anything else is on you. Don't blame me. Okay. So, as I said, shuttle, space, but it's 1923 in space. Veronica just mentions this old theory or this old legend that the moon is actually the skull of a god. Okay? Okay. And then we meet Bentley Miles, who is at this place because he tried to kill himself. Very sad. But also, he loved his wife and kids so much. I mean, how could they ever deal with a life without their husband and father? So he decides, I'm just going to kill them too. But forgets to kill himself. So now he's here. Also, spiders with psychic powers existed. They like a fact. Like, they were on the moon. And there were these people who eventually started communicating with it and kind of pacified it. And these are known as the moon scholars. And they're doing a whole bunch of stuff in this book too, which we'll get to near the end. So the whole idea, though, is so the bad parts of you, the bad parts of your brain, they can remove it, cut it out, okay, and put spider silk in there. So the little space spiders go, they fix up your brain. And they can put other parts, other brain, and because of like the spider silk is like connected, right? Like the psychic powers or whatever. So like somebody else could have like your brain part through the silk, and you have theirs. Okay? I don't know. Veronica keeps having dreams of killing her parents, but she's very certain she never did that. So she's like, "What's happening?" And then she starts getting gaslit. It's like, "No, that's what she did. You just tricked yourself into thinking it didn't happen." And then, okay, uprising. I don't know what's going on, but the moon scholars or whatever, they're attacking this whole complex, I guess. Okay, It's just happening in the background. So they're attacking. One guy named Soma betrayed the Dr. Cole, who I'd even mentioned before. Dr. Cole is this guy who's kind of a jerk, and not kind of, he is a jerk, and there's a lot to be said on him, but you have these one-on-ones with the patients, but honestly, I don't know how many people here actually get helped. I mean, people have to get helped here because it's like people pay people to come here. So obviously, some have to leave. But I don't know. Maybe he was getting some like delusions of grandeur, trying to build up an army. I don't know what this guy was truly up to, but basically, these scholars are attacking the base, and she's like stuck, and she can't speak because she had her mouth stapled shut or sewed shut because Dr. Cole's annoyed that she was talking, right? And Grub puts a hatchet in Veronica's skull. End of story, I guess. Oh, wait. Let's go back in time now. We're seeing some man named Charlie DeChamp, who I'm really stupid because somebody else was named Charlie at the very beginning of the story, and I just didn't make the connection because I'm dumb. But Charlie was a criminal. He worked for like this like mafia sort of thing in Brooklyn, and he's really good at his job, and he really loved killing people, and he only really cared about his boss. And then he was supposed to interrogate this one guy. Instead of just interrogating him, he ends up killing him and his wife and his child. He found it fun. And so he's like, I messed up though, I shouldn't have done that. So he sits on the porch, waits for the mafia members to show up. He goes back, and his boss is like, we're going to send you to this place, they'll fix you up, you can come back and work for me. So, and then that's when I put 2 and 2 together. Charlie is Grub, right? Cole says he can switch memories in people's brains, and then that's when it also clicked for me that the reason why Veronica keeps seeing herself killing her family is because that's what Grub did. Grub killed his dad, I'm assuming his mom, and so that was a crazy, crazy revelation to me. But we cut back to the present. Veronica lives. She's not dead, and she can like telepathically talk to Grub, I imagine, because of the silk or whatever. And she's becoming like this, like, I don't know, spider human queen. I don't know, but she starts ordering the spiders to do stuff, and the scholars. And I don't know if she like. I was kind of confused near the end if she like rips off her skin and she's just like a whole spider now, or if like the stuff was coming out of her back. I don't know exactly what was happening near the end. I think she just became a giant spider. I could be incorrect about that, but the story just kind of ends. But it was fantastic. I don't know what else to say other than I loved it. I loved it. The prose weren't like super flower or anything, but they were there was a vibe going throughout it, and it evoked so many different feelings in me. But I really enjoyed it. I don't think I've enjoyed anything this much in a while. Like just genuine joy. Like I really don't have any complaints about it other than it's short and I wanted more. But we have another one that I'll talk about next time. But you can get this for like $4.99 on Kindle. Okay, it's a little ridiculous. The next one's like $13 for a story that's only slightly longer, which I feel is kind of crazy. But if you want to just see if you would be willing to spend that money on the second one, then sorry, read that first one, because that first one is really good. It was enough to make me cough up $13 for the second one just to read it. But my God, is it worth it? Anyway, we'll see how I feel about the next one which is Cathedral of the Drowned. It's so good though. It's like this horror, psychological, like old pulp sci-fi space opera. Like it's just a little tiny bit of Lovecraft as well, because I didn't really mention it, but earlier Dr. Cole, like, he just starts saying a lot of stuff to Charlie slash Grub, and it's really interesting, the possibilities there. Like, is he just crazy? Is there like any truth to what he's like spouting about? But like, that makes so many interesting possibilities for the future. So I don't know, but I loved it, and you should check it out. It's like $4, $5. Grab it. Grab it. It's like a coffee. Get it. Read it with your coffee. You won't regret it. You can read it in the morning before work. It's short enough. Just please, 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 please try it at least. Try it. Please try it. Unless you can't handle a little bit of gore, then don't do it. Or spiders. I don't like spiders either, but it worked for me, okay? I don't know what to tell you. But please read it. Anyway, so it's been a long time since I've been this excited about a story. Anyway, next time, book or novella 2. Until then, if someone tries to send you to a ward where they're gonna mess with your brain, maybe don't go. Maybe find a way around it. I don't know. But yeah. Read it right before bed, maybe. Have sweet, sweet dreams. Until next time.